There was a time when money wasn't paper. No green bills in wallets, no coins in pockets, no notes to hand over. Just items with agreed-upon value. Grain, shells, salt, or metal discs stamped with authority. But then something extraordinary happened. Paper, thin, lightweight, became money. And once paper could represent value, the world changed in ways nobody expected. This is the story of paper money, how it came to be, why it replaced coins, and how it reshaped trade, power, and human trust. Long before paper existed as currency, humans used barter systems to trade goods. In a barter world, if you had cows and needed shoes, you had to find a shoemaker who wanted cows. That double coincidence of wants stalled trade and limited economic growth. So humans invented money, something accepted by everyone. At first, it wasn't paper. It was metal, bronze, silver, gold. Metal coins solved portability problems and carried intrinsic value because they were made of precious metals. But as societies expanded and trade became more complex, even metal coins became heavy, bulky, and inconvenient, especially over long distances or for large transactions. In China during the late Tang and Song dynasties, merchants did something radically new. Instead of hauling heavy coins for every trade, they used promissory notes, pieces of paper representing stored value, to settle large commercial transactions. These early notes were sometimes called flying money because their paper form made them easier to carry and trade than strings of metal coins. Eventually, the Song government saw more than convenience. They saw opportunity. In the 11th century, they began issuing government-backed paper currency, one of the first examples of paper money in history. This was not just innovation, it was transformation. Now money wasn't just what metals were worth. Money became what people trusted. Paper money worked because people agreed that a note was as good as gold or silver, not because it actually had precious metal inside it. Instead, it represented value held somewhere else and accepted by the community. This shift was enormous. It meant money could be light, portable, reproducible, and flexible. It meant governments could issue money for armies, infrastructure, and trade without needing endless supplies of metal. It meant asterisk money no longer had to be a physical object with intrinsic worth. Its value could live in trust itself. Across centuries and continents, Europe eventually adopted similar systems. In medieval Europe, banks and goldsmiths started issuing promissory notes and receipts for coins deposited with them. These notes could circulate as money, essentially early banknotes. By the 17th century, centralized banks like the Bank of England were issuing banknotes that represented value backed by government authority and economic trust rather than metal alone. With paper money, economies expanded dramatically. Trade no longer required lugging heavy metal across oceans. Merchants could transact larger volumes. Governments could finance wars, infrastructure, and public works on unprecedented scales. Paper money also introduced new challenges. Because a note doesn't contain value itself, it depends on confidence in the issuer. Print too much and prices rise. Inflation can devalue money. Print with restraint, and commerce flows steadily. This fragile balance has shaped economies, politics, and crises throughout history. Today, most money isn't paper at all. But the legacy of early paper money lives on in banknotes, in currency markets, and in the idea that something as simple as a piece of paper can represent trust, wealth, power, and economic identity. Money didn't always look like this, and it wasn't always trusted like this. But once paper began representing wealth, the world's economic landscape was never the same. Every object has a story. Most were forgotten. This was one of them. Welcome to ObjectLore.